I'd like to welcome Chef RJ Lyons at One Penny Red in Summerhill, one of my favourite restaurants. It's great to be back.
Fantastic to have you.
Yeah, tonight you're doing a special dinner, California pomegranate dinner. So can you talk a little bit about, as a chef, firstly, the attributes of a pomegranate and what you can bring to the menu tonight, and talk about how you've balanced the menu out, because obviously we've got various courses with the same product. So.
Sure. Well, look, I've been using pomegranates since we opened day one about 6 years ago, in different formats, different dishes. Probably one thing that I love most about these pomegranates is they just have that perfect balance of sweet and tart as well, which complement quite a few dishes. I've been using them to help with if you have a particularly fatty dish, they can really help cut back that fat and really bring out some flavours as well. I mean, they look fantastic, everybody knows that, but they have more of a purpose than just sprinkling onto a dish, I think, which, there's nothing wrong with that, but I think there's more to the pomegranate than just the arils. And tonight, that's something that I think we're going to showcase a little bit more, certainly using the juice a lot more of the pomegranate.
It sounds like an incredibly versatile ingredient. Why do you think other chefs, they don't feature on menus much, from what I've seen? What do you think the reason of that is? Is it a knowledge issue, or is it?
Yeah, I think it could be a knowledge issue. There's certainly an availability certain times of the year. Maybe people are a little bit scared by the pomegranate and how to handle it and how to prepare it. I've certainly had quite a few chefs that haven't known how to prep them. I'm lucky that I actually got taught the ways of the pomegranate a long time ago at Long Grain in probably 2005. And since then, I've just fallen in love with the fruit.
You said it's been on the menu since you've been here, since One Penny Red opened. So was that something you instigated, or was it?
Yeah, it's just something just again out of a genuine love for the produce and the fruit as well, and the way that it complements dishes in sweet and savoury as well.
A lot of chefs, I find, acidity is an underrated, virtue. And I mean, can you tell us how it sort of lends to the menu tonight, and just generally to dishes, and from your perspective?
Yeah, sure. Look, I think probably the greatest example of that would be the scallop crudo that we're doing tonight. So we've got some beautiful Noosa sashimi grade scallops, and the acid from the pomegranate, as we found out, is perfect for curing raw fish or raw seafood. It's got the right amount of acid, and again, tart, sweet. They all work in harmony. We have reduced the juice by about 50%, and it just concentrates that flavour even more, evaporates some of the water out of it, and you get this beautiful colour and an amazing flavour.
Using the sweetness aspect of it, how would you feature that effectively?
Look, obviously in the dessert tonight with the panna cotta, we've turned that into a granita, and I haven't added any sugar to that at all. It's just 100% pomegranate juice, and that's really complementing, adding the sweetness to the panna cotta, which is quite fatty as well. But also, we're using it on with the lamb rack as well. We've made a glaze, which we've helped out with a little bit of muscovado, sugar and molasses. And we've got the smokiness from the lamb, eggplant, all those flavours just work in harmony.
If you had a young chef, what would you encourage them to do to sort of understand, the full sort of potential of the pomegranate as an ingredient?
I think just, cracking one open and just eating one in its natural state, and then, figuring out what you can do with that. You could put it on a fruit platter, sure, but I mean, to go with roasted and charred meats, and to put it in more of a practical sense with savoury dishes, it's just a no-brainer. They can go any way that you want them to go, really. You can put them with savoury, sweet, really, really versatile.
I'm glad you talked about cracking them open, because Can you talk about the preparation aspect of it?
Sure. Look, it's nothing too daunting. Most chefs that I know do the express method, which has its merits and also has its downfalls, which is where you split the pomegranate in half, turn it upside down, and then whack it with a spoon. And if you hold your fingers right, the arils will fall through your fingers, and you'll capture all of the white webbing. I'm not sure of the correct term for that. The white webbing that holds the seeds in place, and that can be discarded. So the arils will fall through your fingers. So you've got all that beautiful fruit and juice. And that's quite a simple way, but you do damage the fruit, especially with cutting it. Obviously, you're cutting the arils, and when you're whacking it, you're getting a lot of the juice coming out. So the other way to do it, depending on what, and we're certainly doing this tonight, for the garnish, we actually tunnel out the centre with a paring knife, remove the core, and then if you can see the pomegranate has these natural shapes as it's ripened, the fruit's sunken in, it's concentrated the juice, and if you slice along those lines, you can peel it like an orange and just pop the seeds out.
The uninitiated, what shouldn't we do?
Stick it in a blender.
But we're going to avoid that. When you're actually purchasing the pomegranates, what are you looking for particularly? Are there any sort of tells for you as a chef?
Yeah, certainly. I think I look for even the external colour, this nice deep red colour. Weight as well is quite an important thing. This is like a cricket ball really, and the weight really tells a lot of how much is inside it, and the shape as well. So the more round the fruit, I guess, the more underripe it is, and when it sinks into more of a hexagonal shape, that's when you know that you've got a really nice, juicy, ripe pomegranate.
As far as longevity in the kitchen, what are we looking at?
Fantastic. Unopened, I've never pushed the boundaries, but I'm sure you could keep them in a cool room for weeks. And then once they're opened, you've got 3 to 5 days, I guess, depending. If they're kept refrigerated, they've got quite a good shelf life.
Now you're obviously a very seasonal chef, and that's the ethos at One Penny Red. So when's the best time for pomegranate season to access pomegranate?
Right now, these Californian pomegranates are coming into season, so summer, so December, and it's good to use for Christmas as well, because they're very an ornamental fruit that's quite festive as well.
Earlier on we were looking at how you feature them also in your cocktails, which is really interesting, and we're opening up with a cocktail tonight. So one thing about tonight's dinner I found fascinating, obviously COVID-19's been a real pressure on the industry. However, tonight's dinner sold out in record time. Could you talk about that? Because I was quite surprised by that it for a slightly more obscure product, people embraced it straight away. Your locals, your own mailing list.
Yeah, definitely. Look, we were equally as surprised actually. It's something that we weren't expecting to sell out within 3 hours. Due to COVID, of course, we're limited with numbers and availability and spacing in the restaurant. So we did have to cap the numbers, but it was fantastic, and it just goes to show the power of our local clientele that we have in our database. People really trust what we do, they know what we do, and they support us. And to be honest, we wouldn't have been able to survive without that support. So we're very gracious for that.
Do you find your diners do have a natural curiosity on the journey that you take them on?
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, we've done quite a few different produce dinners over the years, and I think just from experience, they know what we do, and they put their trust in that we can pull off a great night.
Just on when you were approached to do this dinner, what was your initial thoughts about how you'd balance the menu out?
I think initially I was thinking about going a little bit sort of Californian Mexican inspired on the menu. Probably not one of my strongest suits as far as menu goes, but then we sort of probably morphed into more of a Middle Eastern style menu, which is quite classical to the pomegranate. And one of the specs that we had for tonight was to really make it approachable for everybody. We didn't want to overcomplicate the dinner too much or overcomplicate the food that we're doing, which is and I think that's my style as well. But there's quite a lot of beauty and simplicity. So getting things right with only 3 ingredients, like the scallop dish, it's quite tricky, but it pays off.
I think the exciting thing is that the Australian market is really it's looking for a product to embrace something different, something new, and I think now's the time to feature that, and I'm hoping more chefs will actually do what you're doing and explore the potential of it, and put out an exciting menu like you have tonight. So Thank you for talking with us, RJ. And fantastic menu we're looking at here, and we're really looking forward to it.
Great.
And we'll talk again soon.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you.